Hello and welcome back to our channel Forensic Science Public Desk India, and now the topic is about guidance for research project. This video is going to be very useful for all the students, those who wants to do a research project as part of their graduation or post graduation, or they have to submit a dissertation, or they want to do a research work and publish a research article or research paper. In all these perspectives, this video will be highly beneficial for you all. So as like I said, research project, we have to understand what is project, what is research. Research is uncountable, diligent inquiry or examination to seek or revise facts, principles, theories, applications, etc. Laborious, or it can be continued search after the truth, while project is planned endeavor, usually with specific goal and accomplished in several steps or stages. So if I am saying research project, that means it is not just a project, it is research oriented project. So here we are having planned endeavor as well as we have to research on that to achieve that particular endeavor or a specific goal. Steps of process. So this is a general glance over the things which we are going to discuss in this video, and the things which we have to apply for our research work basically, and this is a step-wise procedure which we have to do. So select a topic, define the research problem, review the literature, develop objectives, identify variables and formulate hypothesis, prepare the research design, carry out sampling, collect the data, perform data analysis and hypothesis testing, carry out generalization and interpretation, write the research report, then it is ready. How to start the work? First, get idea or find a research problem or select a topic. So you got so and so idea, you got some question in your mind, you are searching out it on the Google and you got very generalized answer. So that means everyone knows about that knowledge, but you don't know. What is a research problem kind of question? You are searching same question on the Google bar, then you are getting research papers related to your question. That means it is enlarged question and very specific and particular question it can be, then only you will be getting the research papers related to that. Then select the topic among the various research problems if you are having in that way. Then search work related to your idea. Ensure strong knowledge on subject interest is there to you. Okay, you got a question or a basic idea about some work or research project. It is in the mathematics, but you are a law student, so there is a very high difference between two subjects. So you have to understand that you cannot proceed because you don't have the strong knowledge. Though you may achieve strong knowledge, but it will take some years. But we are about to do a research project, not a just research. So this is a basic understanding which you have to understand. Then next is discipline towards the project. That means whatever idea you got, whatever papers you are searching for, you found all of them on day 1 and you got a 10 days gap. After 10 days you are searching for the same things, it may not be available in the same place. So whatever work you are searching, if you are getting a good relevant work, download the paper, download the articles, download the books or download the content whatever it is there, and safely place them in correct positions. That means in a proper folders of your system or the mobile phone. Next, maintain feasibility. So you have to decide what kind of obstacles you are going to face while you are doing a research project. So it can be the place where you are staying, or it can be the availability of resources which are around you or which are not around you. So all these things should be considered very basically, otherwise you cannot proceed further. You may withdraw the research project in between if anything goes wrong. Then next, know the experts of the subject for consulting. So though your research is on so and so topic, you may not be having complete idea about the subject. In those cases, experts will be there for you to help and give suggestions. That means in their daily lives they are doing work on that particular thing, that's why they will be called as experts, and any problem you face you can consult them and they will also help you. Next is scope of new discovery through the project. which will be giving very good value to your project. So generalized any kind of normal project if you are doing, that's a secondary thing, but very innovative, very new discovery you are doing, then your project is having very good value in the market, you will be having very good name, then you can become a good research. Then consider three of the important things. One is the investment, how much cost it's going to be to do this kind of research project, first thing. Next thing is skills required. So for any particular kind of research, sometimes the researcher may do all the work, so he is having the capability, he is having the skills. Sometimes you may not have the skills, like the skills which are there for a doctor or an engineer or a surveyor. So specifically they will be having certain knowledges, certain expertise on that field, but you may not be having, you may not be able to handle some kind of things like instruments or kind of techniques which you cannot do, but a doctor can do or an engineer can do. So these are the differences between the skills which you have and experts have. Next is the time. So we are doing a research project, but not just a research. Just a research you can take time how much ever you want, but for research project there is a limited boundary of time in which this should be completed. So all these things should be maintained and should be kept in mind. Then let's get into the details. Define research problem. Research problem is a statement which introduces the topic of research, explains the problem, situation or an activity for which solution is to be obtained through research. So here all things should be combined and it should be given in particular form of a paragraph or a small content. So it cannot be something like 250 words or 500 words. It's up to the researcher how he wants to design. Basically he has to include what is the aim, objective, what are the variables, what is the framework, process of interpretation and the reporting. So all these things are given in an abstract kind of thing. So it should be like, make it simple to understand, straightforward composition should be there. So whenever you are presenting a project proposal or a research proposal, or you are giving the introductory abstract about the research and research problem, then it should be following all these criteria, then it will be good. Comprehensive literature review. Literature review helps to familiarize you with the works already done in the field of study. So field of study, it can be any of the sciences, any of the arts, it can be. In that your research problem is there, you are identifying and you are keeping it into one subject, and to your subject there is a question and answers may be available or may not be available. If it is not available, you are going to contribute the answer. So steps involved are narrow down already done work. So whatever work which is already done, if your idea got answer, then you are you don't need to do any project or any research. If it is not known to the public or society, it is useful yet it is not known, then you are going to identify it. So decide what you can achieve. So if it is unknown also, how you can contribute it, it's a question. So that you will be able to identify by reading various books, journals, articles, documentaries, etc. So basically it should be an analysis of all this. It should be well organized, narrated, summarized and precise. So basically what I am saying is, you should be narrating it in a well organized manner and it is summary of work which is already done, but not all the copy paste of the work. Develop the objectives. Write about clear contribution of your work. So in the basic introductory part at a research problem writing part, you will be already mentioning why you are going to do such kind of research. Though a point wise or a very summarized kind of objectives, if you are writing with the side heading of objectives, then it will be very easier for the reader to understand what is your work. So primary objectives are there. These are the main aims of your studies, also known as specific objectives. So the main goal is primary objective. Secondary objective, like it is a cost oriented, that means it is a cheaper product or it is a cheaper way of approach to some of the question or some of the method. So in that way secondary objectives will be there. These are the aims which will be achieved along with main objectives. These provide support for main objectives also known as general objectives. So the point wise objectives development, the first will be standing for primary objectives, then you will be coming for the secondary objectives. So your main objectives, if you find it, you will also understand what are the other benefits which can be made into the secondary objectives. Identify variables and formulate hypothesis. So before we discuss something about variables, we will get to the hypothesis. So what is hypothesis? See here the image, a solid question, then background research you will do. So just googling it on the mobile phone or something like that, then make sure it's testable. That means no research has been done, or it's completely different, as like we are seeing here that independent and dependent variables are seen. So he is going to do the further analysis. That means he is thinking that these two are basically different, but some kind of similarities would be there or dissimilarities would be there. All these things he is going to understand by doing an hypothesis. So what is variable here? It is to understand the relationship between two activities or to analyze the effect of one activity on the other activity. Clear? So in this way, for example, in a class girls and boys are performing equally in mathematics, then the hypothesis here is null. And if boys and girls are having different performances in mathematics, that is alternative hypothesis. If girls are having more performance than the boys, or boys are having more performance than the boys, you are giving positive or negative hypothesis. So this is the opinion on the hypothesis which you should be having, and this is a prior idea. You should be giving a statement on this. These two are different. You have to prove it how these two are different, on what basis these two are different. This is the color, this is the petal or whatever it is, as like you are seeing in the image. You have to differentiate on various kinds of variables. So this is about identifying the variables and formulate the hypothesis. Prepare research design or project design. A project design is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in a matter that aims to combine relevance to the project purpose with economy in procedure. So it is a little complicated. You are making all the conditions favorable to you, you are understanding your circumstances, then you are designing a project or a research which you could be able to do simple manner. Then it can be divided into various things, that is sampling designing. So sampling design is nothing but concerned with the methods of selecting a sample for study from the given population. So coming to observational design, deals with the conditions for observation, how you want to do the analysis, how you want to use so and so technique or the technology or the instrument to do the observation, and that is called observational design. Then you can study about statistical design. The researcher has to finalize the sample size, tools for the data analysis. So that is how extent he can go. He is designing the boundary, and you are not crossing the boundary, you are keeping the statistical design up to that extent. Operational design is specifies the techniques which are to be used in the collection of sample size for recording the observations, data analysis, etc. All these are going to be involved in operational design. How you want to proceed, execute your idea will be coming in the operational design, very important. Data collection. Primary data is that which is collected by the researcher specifically as per the requirement of the study. So it is to be collected directly from the source without any secondary intermediate. So examples are survey. You are doing the survey on so and so topic with the public, from the public, or you are doing scientific investigation on so and so material by using scientific techniques or instruments. Then you are asking questions through questionnaires or interviewing the people and getting their views on the particular topic, etc. will be considered into the primary data. And what is secondary data? Secondary data is that which is already available and is not collected originally by the researcher. You or me or the researcher is not going to collect any of the data as like the primary one. He is going to refer the data which is already been collected by someone for the intention of study. So this can be examples of historical documents or public records, statistic reports which are already there and available in the libraries or in the journals. Data analysis and hypothesis. Draw conclusions from the data collected so as to answer the research questions and to verify the established hypothesis. So primarily when we are discussing about the hypothesis, formulation of hypothesis, we had a question. So for that question we want to give the answer. In process of giving answer, we collected all the samples, we analyzed all the samples, we understood how their behavior is there, how their nature is there, and we are going to give the report on this particular thing, saying our hypothesis is going to be true. The raw data collected needs to be processed and then it can be analyzed manually or with help of data management tools such as MS Excel, that is Microsoft Excel, Access, or statistical tools like SPSS, R language, Stata, etc. So this is a kind of thing, all the things you are getting into one place, you are putting all the data into one table or referring to the table and you are making a graph. Essentially not required in all the cases. Essentially it is not to be same in all the research works. It depends on what kind of research you are doing, what kind of graphical representation which you can give for all the data. So one research you are doing, your viewers or your readers, they may not read all the contents. So that means you are collecting samples, 1000 samples are there. Your viewer or reader, they are not going to refer all the 1000 samples what you have collected. You are going to summarize it in a form of data analysis and hypothesis. This is very simple. Generalization and interpretation. So previously we have analyzed the data and the data is available in the graph form or in the table form. So further processes, if the testing of the hypothesis, it has been supported by the data several times, then it can be used for generalizations. That means yes, every time I collect this data, every time I get the positive hypothesis, yes, I can generalize it. So generalization is kind of thing which is common for the data which I have collected and thus formulating the theories. So this way of the research will be used to solve real life problems. So this is how I generalize the kind of theory and also I give the interpretation about certain kind of data which is collected as part of research problem. So very important part of the research project, or it can be the research or a project, whatever it is. In a report, the researcher has to explain the topic of research, its objectives, variables, hypothesis, as well as the methods that have been used in the research, and also mention what data was required, source of data which he referred for, data analysis what he has done with the data, and then the generalizations and interpretations of the studies. Everything will be given in a documented form called report. Then how the report is going to be there, like what is the format? Beginning section should be including with title, acknowledgement, background, abstract, index of, list of tables, list of figures, list of appendix, introduction, aims and objectives of the study. This is the first part. We can divide our report into 3 parts basically, and this is the first part. Title means whatever title you are giving, very accurate title it should be, and all these things should be mentioned in the beginning. And acknowledgement, whoever you want to acknowledge or you want to give the credits, and background is whatever the background work, how you got the idea, what is the basic hard work which was there. And abstract, so complete view, a basic one paragraph or something like that, a view will be there for your research, that will be mentioned. Index, complete your research work, what is going to be there inside the book or inside the thesis will be mentioned, all this in this. And introduction part will be there, referring to many other papers, you can write the introduction part. Aims and objectives should be coming from your mind, so those will be mentioned here. Then second part of the section should be including literature review. All the books and the journals which you have mentioned and relevant to your work will be mentioned, well organizedly and well narrated, summarized kind of literature review will be given. Then methodology, what methods you have used to obtain the data or to analyze the data. Findings of the study will be mentioned as part of the second part. Then conclusions, summary, recommendations, references, etc. forms the concluding part of the report. This is the final part. So conclusions are very important. What study you have concluded, what study you have conducted, what conclusions you are about to give, in that you will be mentioning, and you will also give the recommendations. That means what further research can be done, what can be the further achievements for this particular topic, and references will be listed out. Whatever you have studied, you have to understand a basic thing here, difference between reference and bibliography. So reference means whatever you have used, source which you have used to create the report, that all things will be mentioned in the references. When it is coming to bibliography, it is a thing which you just referred but not used to your work. So bibliography will be very larger if you are comparing it with the references. So this is about the report. I hope you have all understood the concepts related to research project, how to proceed for research project, and how you have to utilize the sources which are available around you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you all.